Good morning. So, I want to talk about fulfilling your purpose and fulfilling your calling. Um, when you begin to fulfill your calling, you get a sense of peace. It brings peace to you. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. It a relief. Um, as we progress on the spiritual awakening, we start feeling this need or urge to express ourselves, to bring something into expression, to share our story, to teach what we have, the knowledge that we have gained, to um, to express ourselves in some way. This calling, the calling is a calling of expression. It's some kind of expression. It's either a business or some kind of art project or some kind of, it could be videos or it could be writing or it could be in some way bringing yourself out. That's what the calling is. It feels like a something that wants to come out of you, something that you want to bring forth into the world. And then what stops us? What stops us is all of our insecurities. Well, there's so many other people that are doing it. What do I, of value do I have to add? Somebody else is going to do it better than I am. What if I don't succeed? What if people think that what if people think badly of me? Or what if I make a fool of myself? There's all of these things that come up. And that is part of the spiritual awakening, is overcoming those things. Because when you understand that we are each our own individual being, each of us has our own individual way of expressing ourselves and our own individual uniqueness and talents and ways of bringing information forth. You could look at it as we are each a different kind of filter. We each filter the world, the God, the universe, our surroundings, the information that we gain. It doesn't matter how you look at it. I kind of see myself as a vessel that the all comes through, right? So all of the information that comes into me is information that is in the ethers. It's information, all of the information and knowledge that ever was and that ever will be is all around us at all times. All we're doing is discovering it. And then as we discover it, we have our own unique way of processing that information and understanding it and of being able to bring it into expression. So many of us speak of the same thing because it is all the same. We are all part of this all, but each and every one of us speaks of it in a different, just a little bit of a different way. We each processes it a little bit different and bring different aspects to it and different parts to it. There was a video I did, I think yesterday, and this wonderful woman that we've become friends in the comments below in the comments on my video. We've been kind of going through the exact same things at the exact same times and help and kind of holding each other's hands during this process. And a lot of times she will write things about, well, yesterday she wrote something that was really in inspiring about what I had said in the video, but brought a completely different way of looking at it and different light of looking at it. You can go into yesterday's video and see what she wrote there about it. And it was really interesting. It added a lot of value. So we're both speaking about the same thing, but each of us is bringing different aspects of it, different pieces of the puzzle. So every single person that feels this urge of expression to coming through them has what to add to the universe. And in addition to that, each of us speak in different ways. So so we speak to different people. Different people have different. I have a call coming in a minute. It's my son. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a minute. So to continue on this, um, so really when you feel that calling to share, it's a matter of just doing it. I know that a lot of times we have all of these insecurities and it's something that we've been wanting to do for a long time and we feel like, but we don't feel like we have the power to do it. or it keeps on getting pushed into the sidelines. But what I really want to encourage here is the knowing to share and to express is that that is the spiritual work. That is the next step. We get to a place on this spiritual path where we cannot continue on the next step is taking people with us, is bringing ourselves into full. And it's kind of like a paradox. Not only are we taking people with us on our path and sharing our path, but we are also coming into ourselves and being able to become that expression of ourselves, being able to trust in ourselves enough to bring ourselves into expression, and the cause becomes bigger than the means. So the need to get the information out becomes larger than the insecurities of what do I look like, how am I going to be perceived, do I really have anything of value to add. And when you realize that each of us are individual and bring a different kind of way of looking at it, and for every single glove there is a hand that will fit it. So you bring the glove, the hands will come. um, and even if you helped one person have one realization, one aha moment, something that spiritually lifted them into a new level or gave them another little spin on their spiritual awakening, then everything that you did was for a purpose and was for the higher good. And I really want to encourage you just to, we're the way showers. The more of us that come out and start talking about this, the more it will become mainstream and the more we will be able to pull with us the masses. We're making a universal change here, a universal, we are shifting the way that humanity thinks. We are shifting into a new era. And part of that shifting is us bringing it into normalization. Is the more of us able to, or that are able to talk about this openly and bring it forth and bring it into mainstream, the more this becomes the norm, and the more being asleep, shaking um, in fear-based sleep mode, because to purge and to come through to this higher level, it takes a lot from you. You have to be courageous. You have to be um, um, dedicated. You have to be strong to pull through and go through a spiritual awakening, because it is testing at every corner. Everything that you have ever known is brought up, and you have to reassess it. Um, so this journey is for the strong. And the more of us that can bring light to this spiritual awakening, bring light to the other way of thinking, bring light to this realm, the 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 more we have an impact on the masses, and the more we can pull people with us. So it's not about us each individually. It's about the movement. It's about the mission. And when you start sharing and when you start feeling those urges, first of all, you start realizing that it's the most natural thing in the world. It comes to you from a place of pure nature. It comes to you naturally. When you start sharing and you start bringing yourself into expression, you start, first of all, there's an immense relief, because up till then you feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not standing in my power. And you feel like Fausch. Fausch is like, you feel like you're letting your own self down. Like, "Ugh, I'm not standing in my power. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing." And when you start releasing it, you start realizing that it is what comes to you by nature. It is what is the most natural place for you to be in. And you completely get over your ego in it. It doesn't matter if my hair is, the information is what is important. Getting it out there. Of course, you want to try to look presentable. I try to in some of it. I don't know. Maybe. It depends. but what's most important is getting the information out, and then it becomes the mission becomes bigger than you are. The fear of what people are going to think completely falls off the plate, and you feel this sense of complete relaxation into it, and you feel a sense of, wow, that was easy. I could have just done that from the get-go. Why didn't I just do that before? It's one of those things that's like, oh, and just start before you're ready. Start where you are. Wherever you are, there are always people. If you have that calling to start doing something, to start helping, or to put yourself out there, or to, it doesn't have to be fancy pants. It can just be as simple as you being you and bringing it forward, so that, it's like you have to, we live in these little bubbles, right? Our own little universe bubbles. So you have to expand your bubble, and you also have to not push your bubble onto the world, because pushing yourself onto somebody doesn't, pushing yourself into any situation is not what I'm talking about. It's more like being a flower and just bringing your blossom and allowing the world to see it. Whoever needs to see that blossom, or whoever's interested in that blossom, will come and take a look. And whoever doesn't, it won't be relevant for them anyway, so it won't show up for them in their lives. So it's kind of like, I really want to encourage you to bring yourself forward, bring yourself forth, express yourself, bring yourself into expression, and let you know that it's not that big of a deal once you start doing it. It's like there's the first initial, like, get over the little hump. It's like, ugh. But then once you do it, it becomes like second nature. It becomes like uh, it becomes something that is bigger than you. It becomes something that is, um, you feel like it's coming through you. It's not even really yours. It's something that wants to be expressed through you. And that if you're not allowing it to be expressed through you, it's like trying to stop up a river. Like a river is coming and wanting to flow through you, and you're stopping it because of your own insecurities. Your ego gets involved. Your ego gets in there and says, no, I'm not good enough. No, I have to do this first. No, that is more important. What are people going to think of me? It's the ego is thinking that whatever it is that's coming through you is you. And that's where it's getting stopped. When you realize that it's not you, it's the intelligence of the universe coming, the divine coming through you. It's not yours to make any decisions on it. It's not yours to decide if you want to put it through or not put it through. That's not yours. This wants to be born of you, and you just get yourself out of the way. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what people think of you. I live in a very small community, and in the community that I live in, there's maybe 150, maybe 200 families. And I live in a small area too. When you live in a small in an area, you get to know a lot of the people. And I know that what I talk about in these videos is off the beaten path. It is, I talk about channeling messages. I talk about enlightenment. I talk about psychedelics. I talk about answering to your calling. I talk about spiritual awakening. I talk about twin flame journey. That's one of the rare. I, t- I talk about things that my own family that are seemingly open don't get and can't. I talk about demons. Like, really? I talk about things that even my immediate family and friends don't really perceive and can't really get. And I talk about them openly because I understand, first of all, I understand that they're real because I see them so perfectly and clearly. And when you get to this place of knowing where you feel like, the urge you have to share, it's because you've gotten to this place that you have sacred knowledge that is coming to you, that is coming through you, and you are in a small percentile of, and you feel like this is life changing, this is mind blowing. The universe needs to know this. Anybody that is perceptible to this information and that I can bring this information through to, then it is my, almost like my duty to bring this information, to allow this information to flow through me so that more people can feel this sense of enlightenment. It's where your soul just feels pure and clean and light and flowy and sparkly, and you see the joy of life, and you see how rich life is, and you see that there are other planes all around us, and you want to just sing to the heavens, and you want to share that joy, you want to share that knowledge, even when it's through purging and pain, because you realize the bigger picture. You see that all of the purging is the purifying and bringing yourself into your own, and you want to share that, you want to just sing it from the mountaintop. And the more of us that are bringing this into mainstream, because we are the way showers, we are the ones that are bringing this forward, we are the ones that are the courageous that come out here on the edge and bring it forth to the masses, even when it is a not mainstream, even when it is something that is controversial. It becomes our truth that is so solid that the whole world could be in disbelief, and we're still standing strong in our belief and knowing of this, because we have, like, it's almost like we have, in order to gain this knowledge, we have paid the prices. Like, we have burnt out the old ways of belief, and it has been, it's like when you know something because you have experienced it through your own body and being. That there's no question in your mind. And so really what I want to share is that when I started sharing these videos, it was like I had been wanting to do it for a long time, and it was sitting in the back burner, and one day, and then I'm going to do it this way, and then I'm going to have to edit it, and then I'll have to script it and make sure that it's all coming out perfect, and I had all these ego based, and I'm saying it in a very loving way, because I can just see it. It's not. There is no evaluation on this. It's not good or bad. I'm sharing my experience, um, in a way of just knowing. And so it was a very ego based. It was a very like, what are people? I have to bring this through. I have to make myself up. I have to find the right backdrop so that it will come through. You know, and I have to make myself presentable and dress up, and then I have to edit it, and then I have to kind of stage it, and it was all coming through this ego base of how I'm going to look. And when it finally was born of me, when I finally started talking about the twin flame journey, I was crying. I was in my car. I was out on the side of a mountain running. And I think my eyes were like this. And that's when I finally it was just like, it was so overwhelming that it had to be born of me. And I just started talking about it. And as soon as I started talking about it, I put up a couple of videos, and it was like, when I first put up the videos, like, like it feels very, very exposing, like you're exposing yourself. But I couldn't hold on to it any longer. It was like it was being born of me. And before that, I had made a few cutesy little videos that I worked on, and that I edited, and so. But when I first made the reel where I was talking about the twin flame thing, and then right after that, a woman contacted me that was going through the same thing, and we began having a discussion. And I realized that, wow, there are other people going through this. And she had been on this journey when she contacted me, and this was like a year ago. She had been like 16 or 17 years on this journey. And it just gave me like this, whoa. And with nobody to talk to about it. There's so many of us going through this journey, and it's just, in the beginning, it's so surreal. It seems like out of this world, and you're like, what is this? What is this? How could this be? What is this? It's like you're thrown into this surreal, mystical world that all of a sudden you're like, and you don't understand it, and you feel so alone, and everything is so layered, and the synchronicities, and you start seeing numbers everywhere, and it's like crazy talk. It's like crazy talk. I mean, it's like there 111s all over the place, and 222s, and then there's angel numbers, and then all of a sudden the universe is sending you signs and totem animals, and all of a sudden the moon and the stars are speaking to you, and the sun, and there's signs everywhere, and it's just like, ugh, it's so overwhelming. It's like that you get this blast of energy of just surreal. And so ever since I started sharing, I was saying about how I live in a very small community. This is so much bigger than who cares what people think. I mean, and what I realize is the more that I just put myself out there, and that it's more like, this is my journey. This is my life experience. And the less I care, it seems like the more people want to be part of it, because I think that people also want within themselves to be able to express themselves clearly. I found this old shed kind of thing here that is abandoned, and there's some kids drugged a couch here, so I just found myself a place to sit. I'll show you inside what it looks like, just because we're already here. See, this is inside the building. So I really just want to encourage you to know, just kind of show you what it looks like on the other side when you start answering to that calling, and you start just doing what you feel. Did this break? No. When you just start doing what you feel like you need to be doing. Really, once you get over the initial hump, the initial push through it, it just really takes a life of its own on. It really just happens all on its own. And it just starts becoming like second nature. And then you're like, oh, really? That's all it was? And it becomes simple, because it becomes so simple because it's what you were meant to be doing. So by nature. So when you are in the right place, when you're doing something that is right, it comes to you just so naturally that it just feels like you were born for it. So that's really, I just wanted to encourage you. So thank you for watching.